Imagine standing at the edge of 2025, your biggest goals staring you in the face, starting a business, getting healthy, or chasing a dream you've held for years. But you feel overwhelmed, like you need an army to make it happen. What if I told you that a small, dedicated team could lead you to victory, just like it did for a man named Gideon thousands of years ago? Stay with me, because today, we re-diving into Gideon's story and how working with one small team can help you crush your 2025 goals. Let's meet Gideon. If you've ever felt unqualified, unsure, or just plain scared to take on something big, you'll relate to him. In Judges 6, we find Gideon hiding from his enemies, the Midianites, who had been oppressing his people for years. He wasn't a warrior or a kingy, he was just an ordinary guy, the least in his father's house, Judges 6:15. But God had other plans. The Lord is with you, mighty warrior. Judges 6:12, God told him. Picture Gideon probably looking over his shoulder, thinking, me? A warrior? Yet God called him to lead Israel against a massive enemy army of Midianites. Have you ever felt like your goals are too big for you? That's where Gideon's story begins, and it's where our journey to achieve great things starts. Now, here's the surprising part. God didn't give Gideon a huge army. The Midianites had 135,000 soldiers, but God told Gideon to trim his army from 32,000 to just 300 men. 300. Why? Because God wanted the victory to come through faith and focus, not sheer numbers. The Lord said to Gideon, with the 300 men who lapped, I will save you and give the Midianites into your hand. Judges 7:7. Those 300 men, handpicked and ready, became the team that changed everything. What if you could build a team like that for your 2025 goals? A small, tight-knit group of people who believe in your vision and work together to make it happen? That is the challenge I'm setting for you today. Find one small team and achieve something extraordinary in your 2025. Why does this matter? Let's be honest, 2025 is going to throw a lot at us. New opportunities, new obstacles, and big dreams will all be competing for your attention. Maybe you're planning to grow your career, strengthen your family, or finally tackle a passion project. But going it alone can feel exhausting, and big teams can get messy. Too many voices, too much chaos. Gideon's story shows us that small teams, when chosen wisely, can be incredibly powerful. They're easier to lead, quicker to act, and built on trust. Can you imagine what it would feel like to have just a few people who truly have your back, pushing toward the same goal? That's the kind of team that turns dreams into reality. Let's break down why small teams win. First, they're focused. Gideon's 300 men weren't too distracted by ego or side agendas. They were united around one mission. A small team lets you keep everyone aligned on your 2025 goal, whether it's launching a podcast or getting fit. Second, small teams build stronger trust. When you know your teammates well, you can rely on them, share openly, and work seamlessly. Third, small teams are agile. They can pivot quickly, adapt to challenges, and make decisions without endless debates. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. Ecclesiastes 4:9. Think about a time when a small group of people made something amazing happen, maybe a family event or a work project. Why do you think that worked? That's the magic of a small team, and Gideon's what Gideon's story teaches us. Let's dive deeper into Gideon's approach. He didn't choose his team randomly. God guided him to pick men who were alert and committed, those who lapped water like dogs, ready to fight. Gideon also trusted God's plan, even when it seemed impossible. Picture this. His 300 men surrounded the enemy camp at night, with trumpets, jars, and torches. No swords, no armor, just faith and a bold strategy. When they blew their trumpets and shouted, the Midianites panicked and fled. The Lord caused the men in throughout the camp to turn on each other with their swords. Judges 7:22. Gideon's victory wasn't just about the team, it was about trusting God to work through them. What could your small team achieve if you leaned into faith like that? Now you might be thinking, how do I build a team like this? It starts with clarity about your goal. Gideon's mission was to free Israel. Yours might be to save money, grow a business, or improve your health. What's your 2025 goal? Once you know it, here's how to build your team. First, choose wisely. Look for people who share your vision and values, friends, family, colleagues, or even mentors who believe in you. Second, keep it small. 3 to 5 people is enough to make a big impact. Third, communicate clearly. Share your goal, define everyone's role, and stay connected. Finally, pray over your team. Like Gideon, ask God to guide your choices and strengthen your efforts. Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. Proverbs 16:3. Who's the first person who comes to your mind when you think about your dream team? Hold that thought. But let's be honest, working with a team isn't always easy. Maybe you're worried about finding the right people, or you're scared of letting others down. Gideon felt that too. He doubted himself, asking God for signs to confirm his calling. Gideon said to God, "If you will save Israel by my hand, as you have spoken to me, I will put a fleece of wool upon the floor." Judges 6:36-37. God was patient with him, and he'll be patient with you too. If you're feeling unsure, start small. Invite one person to join your vision and see how it grows. Another challenge is conflict within the team. Small teams are close, but that closeness can spark disagreements. When that happens, lean on humility and communication. Gideon's men worked together because they trusted their leader's purpose. How can you keep your team united around your shared goal? Another hurdle is overwhelm. Sometimes your goal feels too big, and your team feels too small, like Gideon, facing an army with just only 3,000 men. In those moments, Gideon's story reminds us that success isn't about numbers. It is about God's power working through us. I can do all things through him, Christ, who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. When you're tempted to give up, remind your team of why you started. Maybe your goal is to run a marathon, and your team checks in weekly to keep you motivated. Or maybe it's a business idea, and your small team brainstorms together. Every small win builds momentum. Have you ever accomplished something with a tiny group that felt like a miracle? That's the power of a small team. As we step into 2025, let's talk about why this approach is perfect for the year ahead. The world is full of new possibilities, new opportunities, but also distractions and challenges. Whether your goal is personal, like building better habits, or professional, like scaling a project, a small team keeps you focused and accountable. Accountable in this world of endless distractions. Imagine a team that meets regularly, cheers each other on, and pushes toward a shared dream. Gideon's 3,000 men didn't adjust a battle. They sparked a new era of hope for Israel. Your team could spark change too, maybe a stronger family, a healthier you, or a thriving community project. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I among them. Matthew 20:20. That's the promise for your team. So, how do you get started? It's simpler than you think. First, define your 2025 goal. Make it clear and meaningful. Maybe it's to write a book, or maybe it's off debt, or maybe it's to grow spiritually. Second, list 3 to 5 people who could support you, people you trust, who share your passion. Third, reach out to them. Share your vision, explain why they mean to you, and invite them to join. It could be as simple as a weekly call or a group chat to stay on track. Fourth, pray together if you can. Ask God to guide your team and bless your efforts. Finally, take action. Start working toward your goal, celebrating every step forward. Gideon's army didn't wait for perfect conditions. They acted with what they had. You can do the same. As you look to 2025, picture a year where your goals aren't just wishes, they're reality. You're not alone, overwhelmed, but surrounded by a small team that believes in you. Gideon's story shows us that a small can be powerful enough to win battles and change lives. Your team doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be committed. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. Ecclesiastes 4:12. That's what it'd be like to cross the finish line in 2025. Knowing your team helped you get there? That's the vision I'm inviting you into. Here's my challenge to you. Start today. Choose one goal, pick your small team, and take that first step. You don't need an army, just a few faithful friends and a heart that trusts God's plan. Maybe it's a text to a coffee invite or a prayer for clarity. Whatever it is, don't wait. And as you build your team, remember Gideon, the unlikely warrior who led 300 men to victory. That same God is with you, ready to make your small team unstoppable. Before we go, let me ask you this. Who is the first person you want on your dream team for 2025? And what goal would you chase together? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And I know others will too. Let's inspire each other to build teams that win. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so we can keep exploring faith and success in 2025. I'll see you in the next video.